All right, we are back with another episode of It's That Easy. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to talk about my Sweet 16 picks. But before we do that, we're going to run through what happened in the round of 32 to lead to that just really quick. So if you're watching, please like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. And hold on to the end because at the end we're going to talk about a couple of parlays that could get you, a couple of greenbacks there. Some underdogs. If you're looking for underdog picks for this week, got some of those for you too. And then, of course, we're going to go through all the money line and all the covers. Who's going to cover the spread on these Sweet 16 games? So let's get started. So really quick, let's just run through these. So I put these out on TikTok, and I did I do a show? No, I didn't do a show about these, but I did put these out on TikTok. So these were our Saturday games of who's going to the Sweet 16. I had Duke covering 11.5 against TCU. Yeah, they destroyed TCU. Well, it was like 23 points, but that's a lot of points there. And so they did cover the 11.5. But my favorite one was Texas. I called Texas. I know everyone. I think I saw people even pick like, oh yeah, we got Gonzaga. They got the win. They're gonna do. Yeah, I called Texas covering Gonzaga 6.5 points. Okay, I will say I wasn't sure if they'd win the game, but I did think they'd keep it close. Well, guess what? They won, and they won by 6 points. So there you go. So they got to cover the 6.5 points if they were the favorite. Okay, maybe not. But that was awesome game. Good job, hook 'em horns, going to the Sweet 16. Louisville. So I was a little disappointed, and then I thought Louisville would show up on this one. They didn't. I mean, they lost by 8 points, but it was a 4.5 point. So, oh well. Michigan State beat them. So good for them. They are a good team. Congratulations to them. Illinois. So VCU beat North Carolina. But I knew Illinois would show up and show out, and they sure did. They won by 21 points. So that 11.5 was an easy one for them. I kind of figured that would happen there. St. Louis Billikens. They have a big guy. I forget what they call it. They got all kinds of nicknames for him. 7-footer. I thought he'd actually play pretty well against Michigan. Man, they got killed. They lost by 23 points. So that 12.5 wasn't even close. I was a little disappointed because I thought they'd show up. But, oh well. You win some, you lose some. A&M plus 10.5. I thought they would show up against U of H. Turns out they did not. I don't like A&M anyway, so who cares? But I would have liked them to win because I might have put a little bit of money on them. But, oh well. U of H, nice job. They won. They beat them by 31 points, as it should be. Everyone should beat A&M by 31 points, so good for them. Let's see here. Nebraska. I liked Nebraska, even though they were going against Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt was picked to win. They beat them by 2 points. They were actually beating them. It was a really good game, to be honest with you. And what's crazy, so I had them by 1.5 points. It was tied with about 10 seconds left. Nebraska beats them at the end with a really good play. And the guy for Vanderbilt shoots a 3 from other side of half court, almost makes it. Came rattled out, and my bank rattled with some cash. So that was good. Good for Nebraska. And then High Point, I said, you know what, 11.5 points. I watched High Point, even though I didn't pick them the first round. I said, these guys are pretty good. They're pretty hungry. And 11.5 points was a lot. They actually only lost by 6, and they actually were playing really well. Arkansas is better, but High Point had a chance toward the middle of the second half, but Arkansas proved to be too much. So good for them. Those guys move on, and I'll give you my picks there. But also, really quick when I go. So you see there I was 4-4. Sunday, let's see, same 4-4. So I actually 500. But I'll be honest, it was fun picking the games. I got to watch quite a few of them, and it's just fun watching them, picking them, putting it out there just to see who you think is going to win. And there were some that covered that shouldn't have, and there were some that should have and didn't. So you take your chances when you bet. But anyway, let's real quick here. Here was the shocker, biggest one here. I picked Florida to cover 10.5. I said, hey, they're the defending champs. Those guys want to go to the Sweet 16. Apparently they don't, but Iowa does. Iowa beat them 73-72. Good for Iowa and Florida. That's what you get. Utah State and Arizona. I thought Arizona would put a beating on them, 11.5 points. They actually beat them by 12 points. So they just covered that 11.5 points. So that's what I'm talking about. You never know who's going to cover what, who's going to show up win, who's going to make that one extra point that covers and you win, who's going to miss that last second shot. They don't cover and you lose. You never know. But I was good. I was happy with that. I had Purdue by 7.5 over Miami, and they beat them by 10. So it was a bummer seeing Miami lose because I liked them during the season, but Purdue's a better team. Iowa State, let's see. I thought they'd win by 5.5 against a pretty good Kentucky team. They actually won by 19 points, so I love when that happened because I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about this one. UCLA, I thought would actually play a lot better, a lot better. They did not. I had them by 4.5 points. They lost by 16, and it really even wasn't that close. Like UConn really put a beating on them. And who knew that Bill Murray's son is an assistant coach with UConn? So apparently he's a UConn fan now. So Tennessee, I like Tennessee. If you've seen any of my past videos throughout the season, you know I like Tennessee. I call myself a Tennessee homer. This was a really tough game for me. I wasn't sure which way to go. I wanted to pick Tennessee, and then at the end I went with Virginia. Well, Tennessee beat them by 7. And ever since right before the second half started, Tennessee, pulled away and, just realized I made a mistake. But, oh well, you win some, you lose some. St. John's I did like. They were 3.5 point favorites, or maybe I got them at 2.5, but they did beat Kansas. So that was a really good pick. Rick Pitino's team would show up. And then this was kind of a shocker. I don't know why I took Texas Tech over Alabama, but Alabama said, yeah, we're not having any of that. At one point, they were up by 32 points. They only ended up winning by 25 points, a measly 25 points. It was an embarrassing loss, to be honest with you, and because it was like that for most of the game. So now that gives us our Sweet 16 teams here. And I am going to give you my picks. So get ready. Drum roll. Yeah, that's not a good drum roll. And this is for Thursday, March 26th. I'm going to put these out there. First one, Texas against Purdue. So let's see. I took some notes here. Texas scores 83, gives up 76. Rebounding, they have the edge on Purdue. Purdue scores 82, gives up 70 points a game. Rebounding goes to Texas. 3-point shooting and defense goes to Purdue. Free throws, more accuracy and more free throws go to Texas. I don't know. I just got to pick a dog at some point, and what better dog to pick than my home team of the Longhorns? So for that reason, I'm going to go Texas plus 7.5. Next one we got is Iowa and Nebraska. So Iowa, they actually they only score 75, so it's a lower scoring. They give up 66, which we talked about this in previous ones. 60s, holding teams in the 60s, that's good defense. Nebraska also scores 77, and they give up 67 points. Also lead defense. Nebraska rebounds better. They have the edge in offensive three-pointers and in three-point defense. I think free throws, Iowa has the advantage there. Iowa obviously has momentum because they've beaten Florida. And Iowa and Nebraska have played twice this season, each one winning at home. This is going to be a tough one here. But I got to lean toward Nebraska. I think Nebraska overall is a better team. So as you get, as it gets deeper and deeper into these, as we get to these, we're obviously going to get to the Elite Eight and then the Final Four. The better teams that are more sound will win. And I think Nebraska's more sound. So I'm going with those guys. Arkansas, Arizona. Let's see. Arkansas scores 90. That one of the higher scoring teams that's still in the tournament. They give up 80. Arizona scores 86, gives up 68. Okay, there's the defense right there. Rebounding, Arizona dominates in rebounding, 43-36. They actually both have really good perimeter defense for three-pointers. Arkansas actually shoots more three-pointers and makes more per game. So this is a tough one as well. I'll be honest, Arizona probably wins the game, and they may win it by 20 points, right? But I think Arkansas is gritty. I think they will show off. Acuff shows up. I know that. And I think they're going to hang in there until the very end. So it's either going to be Arizona by 20 or it's going to be a 2 or 3 point game. So I'm banking on Arkansas covering there. And then Illinois plays Houston. So this was a tough one for me. I think I told you before, like, I grew up a Houston Cougar fan. I'm not saying the Cougars lose. I just think that Illinois they're a bigger team. They may actually have a little more firepower, even though Houston's really good. So Illinois scores 85. They give up 69 points. Houston scores 78, and they give up 62. So, right, that's elite defense right there. Illinois, I think Illinois is a bigger team, so they have the rebounding advantage already. Offensively, Illinois scores more three-pointers per game. And defensively, they both hold teams to low three-point shooting percentages. So, that's good. That's a pretty good stat there. Just talking about how good their defenses are. Illinois has a slight edge in free throws. But, man, that 3.5 points, I actually feel like, I hate to say it, I think Illinois could win the game. But right now I'm going to say Houston wins, but Illinois covers the 3.5 points. So let's go with that for now. That's the Thursday games. Those are going to be on March 26th. So as we go to the Friday games on March 27th, here's what we got. Another drum roll that I will not do. Oh, that was pretty good. So I got St. John's and Duke. I'm actually a little worried about this pick here because Duke obviously is the better team, 34-2, or better record. St. John's, man, those guys, they're coached by Rick Pitino. They're going to show up, then they're going to be ready to play. Let's see, St. John's, they score 81, they give up 69. Good defense. Duke scores 82, gives up 63. Elite defense. Duke rebounds better, just a little bit. They average 40 and 39 rebounds a game, so about the same. Duke has better offensive three-point production and defensively stopping the three-pointer, and they shoot better from free throws. They kind of dominate all the stats, and for that reason, I'm leaning Duke to minus 6.5 points. But stay tuned because I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I will also do during this time here, during the bets. So Alabama, Michigan. Let's see. Alabama scores 92, gives up 83. Michigan scores 87, gives up 70. Alabama actually out-rebounds them, but it's 41-40 per game. Let's see. Alabama hits more three-pointers, but defensively, Michigan is better at stopping the three-pointers. And they both shoot about 76% from free throws. But here's the thing. I think Alabama is not primed. I think Michigan has a better team. And so because of that, I'm going Michigan, the 9.5 points. I don't think Alabama's as good. Like as a St. John's or an Arkansas that I'm looking at as dogs, I'm not looking at Alabama that way. Alabama's also coming off like a crushing victory over Texas Tech. Sometimes when you beat somebody by 30, the next game, the three-point shooting is not there. So we'll see. If Alabama can keep that momentum going, could be a totally different game there. Michigan State plays UConn. Let's see. Michigan State scores 79, gives up 68. UConn scores 78, gives up 65. Michigan State out-rebounds them 40 per game to 37 per game. They shoot better offensively from three-point land, but UConn defends better from three-point land. And then Michigan State really outdoes them in free throws, 76% free throw shooting to 71%. I think this is another case of similar to Florida. UConn, they expect UConn to win. They're they're a number 2 seed, right? I think Michigan State plays tough, and they've played some really good teams in the Big Ten, including Michigan, Illinois, who else? Nebraska. They've played some really good teams. So I think they're battle tested, and I think they have them ready. When I say 1.5 plus 1.5 points, that kind of means they win. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying. So that's my pick there. And I actually had them by 2.5, and I think the number either changed or, I'll confirm those numbers. But I like Michigan State, and then Tennessee, Iowa State. Once again, Tennessee 79 points a game. They give up 69 points. Iowa State scores 83, gives up 65. Tennessee 43 rebounds per game to 36 for Iowa State. Defensively, they're both really good at stopping the threes. Offensively, Iowa State scores more. This is a tough one for me too. I feel like I should have picked Tennessee last time, and I don't want to make that mistake again. I'm not saying they win. Once again, I'm just saying they may cover. So let's see how this goes. So just a recap of the picks there. Oops, wrong way. Here we go. Thursday's games. Here's the teams to cover. And Friday games. So let's really quick talk about. So if you're looking for a couple of underdogs, I'll tell you, this is what I like to do. I don't like to parlay games that don't happen on the same day. Like, I don't want to see, like, my team won on Thursday, and then I got to wait for them on Friday, too, to see if I actually won. So if I'm looking at, if you're looking at some underdog picks, here's just throwing them out there, and you want to parlay them. Texas, Arkansas, they're both 7.5-point underdogs. If you actually pick them to win and you parlay those, that could pay off six times your bet. You never know. You never know what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. I know what the numbers say. You just never know. And then if you're looking at the next day, St. John's, who plays Duke, and Tennessee, right, 4.5-point dogs. Those could be picks too. I mean, I could see where St. John's shows up and actually beats Duke. Duke looked a little tired against Siena. They did beat the last team they played. I forget who that was. We just talked about it. But anyway, it could happen. So if you're looking for some underdogs to pick, I don't like Alabama as an underdog. Michigan State is an underdog at 1.5, but that's a small one, so that doesn't pay as much. So if you're looking for something to parlay and pay, it could be a St. John's, Tennessee parlay money line win there. And then if you're looking at some unders, let's see. I got the first one I would look at is Iowa, Nebraska. They're over under. Let's see. That's this one. Iowa, Nebraska. Their over under is 132.5. And they're pretty good defensive teams. It could be a defensive battle. You never know. They could just hit nonstop threes. But that's one that you might want to look at as an under. Illinois, Houston, 139.5 points. If the defenses show up, they could be under that. If they don't, I bet Houston one time to hit the under. And whoever, I forget who they played. I think it was TCU or something like that. Yeah, they scored like 180 points. So you never know. But if you're looking for defenses, those two have really good defenses. So you could hit the under on that one. And then the one for the next day, St. John's, Duke, who is, they both have really good defenses, right? They both hold people in the 60s. And their over-under is 141.5. So that could be a good one too. So quick recap, dogs could be Longhorns, Arkansas, could be St. John's, Tennessee. Any one of those parlays together, hell, you might want to just do all four of them. That would probably pay you like 20 times. Obviously, that goes to show you what a far reach that is. Over unders, unders always kill me, but you never know. If you're looking for defenses that play really well, two teams that play each other have really good defenses. Could be a defensive battle. You're looking at Iowa and Nebraska. You're looking at Illinois, Houston, and you're looking at St. John's, Duke. So hopefully some of those work for you. These are our picks for the Sweet 16. We'll do the Elite 8 as soon as these are done. So hope you're having a great time. Enjoy those games. Enjoy if you bet. Hopefully you bet and you win a ton of money. I would love to see that. And maybe you can comment. And you know what? If you win a ton of money and you let me know that, maybe I can get you on the show and you can tell us what you did to win a ton of money. So like it, subscribe if you can, and hook 'em horns. We will see you next time.